He's the greatest actor you have. You know, he turned himself into a hood ornament for the poor and the downtrodden. He's a rich kid who is a great actor. He has all the energy behind him. You talk about slicing and dicing the electorate. He's going to slice it and dice it in one way: oppressors and oppressed.
No.
And I want to find out if he has it in him to give it up. I don't think he does, because that's the energy in the Democratic Party. It's oppressors and oppressed.
No.
That's why the Jews in this city feel scared, because they know he has labeled them as the oppressors.
Well,
that's why people who create jobs in New York City are leery, because he labels them the oppressors.
I expect to hear this narrative. Well, this ain't a narrative. What I should say is, I expect to hear this truth from the American hero Scott Jennings. I am a real American. According to the American hero, along with a very strong endorsement from Uncle KC, Zohran Mamdani is fake. He's as fake as the original Zorro from those doofus movies from the 1960s. Zorro, my last name is Mamdani. Zorro, I will destroy NYC. I expect Scott Jennings to tell the truth about Zohran Mamdani. What I did not expect was Tony Jones, better known to friends and family as Van. How in the hell do you get Van from Tony? All kidding aside, I thought Van Jones' government name was Evander. I looked it up earlier today, and his government name is Antonio. Well, actually, it's Anthony.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
Either way, whatever the hell his real name is, I did not expect Van Jones to call out Zohran Mamdani for being fraudulent, for being fake. But like I told you guys last week, I've been noticing this drastic shift at CNN. I don't know if CNN has finally realized that they are competing against MSNBC for a rapidly dwindling woke audience, so they are trying to be more appealing to normal people, or maybe CNN has finally realized that Democrats are insane. Maybe it's a combination of both. Either way, there has been a noticeable shift recently at the Cemetery News Network. Hopefully, CNN is finally waking up, because that's damn sure what the rest of the country needs to be doing. Earlier this morning, I ended the first video of the day with a message of hope. Oftentimes, after these elections, the mainstream media likes to create fear. They paint vivid pictures of doom and gloom because they know that's the best way to increase and maintain viewership. But for the vast majority of the country, hell, for everyone not living in the shithole known as New York City, the election of Zohran Mamdani, it means absolutely nothing. It will have no impact on your day-to-day life. Now, New York City deserves exactly what they voted for. The New York City that we know, the New York City that you'll be reminded of over the next few weeks as you rewatch Home Alone 2 during the holidays, that New York City is dead. And you know what? Maybe it's by design. Maybe this is exactly what Islamists want. Maybe they want everyone leaving New York City. I received an interesting email from a viewer earlier this afternoon who is currently living in China. He's originally from Michigan, so between China and the Islamic Republic of Michigan, he's got plenty of knowledge, plenty of experience dealing with Islam. He explained to me that this is not about money. This isn't about keeping billionaires in New York City. This isn't about tax revenue. This isn't about New York City remaining as the financial capital of the world. Maybe this is about Zohran Mamdani turning New York City into an Islamist stronghold. With everyone leaving, it makes it even easier because there's no normal people left to fight against it. He said to me, why do you think the government in China de-radicalizes the Muslims? The ideology is dangerous, and if we continue to tolerate it here in America, it will continue to spread. And if it spreads too much, by the time people wake up, it will be far too late. Maybe CNN is waking up. Maybe CNN is realizing that Zohran Mamdani isn't the happy-go-lucky doofus that he portrayed himself to be on the campaign trail. Make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Link to the second channel in the description below. Earlier today on the second channel, talked about Major League Baseball surpassing the NBA in popularity. I explain why the NBA continues to struggle, and I question why Adam Silver refuses to address the obvious problems in the league. So if you haven't already, click the link in the description below, subscribe to the second channel. Last night, CNN was covering the mayoral race in New York City. Throughout the campaign, Evander Jones fell into the trap of thinking that Zohran Mamdani was the great unifier. You know, this isn't just a problem with Van Jones. There are far too many Americans who think the rest of the world thinks like we do. There are far too many Americans who are blinded by tolerance. Far too many Americans who think this will never happen here. It did happen here. 24 years after 9/11, 24 years after we promised to never forget, a Muslim was elected as the mayor of New York City. Throughout the campaign, Van Jones bit into the shit sandwich. He believed that Zorro would unify New York City. He will unite the Jews with the Muslims. Then they'll hold hands and sing. I don't understand why Van Jones thought Zohran Mamdani would be this great unifier. Islam, by design, is the complete opposite of unification. I believe there are, 56 Islamic countries. You know how many of those countries are tolerant of other religions? You know how many of those countries are practicing unity? UNITY! None. The only way to unite with Islam is to submit to it. Last night, the mask came off of Zohran Mamdani. His acceptance speech was filled with anger. This wasn't the happy-go-lucky doofus that we saw on the campaign trail. And Van Jones, he joined the American hero Scott Jennings in calling it out. Watch for yourself.
But I think he missed an opportunity. The Mamdani that we saw on the campaign trail, who was a lot more calm, who was a lot warmer, who was a lot more embracing, was not present in that speech. And I think that Mamdani is the one you need to hear from tonight. There are a lot of people trying to figure out, can I get on this train with him or not? Is he going to include me? Is he going to be more of a class warrior, even in office? I think he missed a chance tonight to open up and bring more people into the tent. I think his tone was sharp. I think he was using the microphone in a way that he was almost yelling. And that's not the Mamdani that we've seen on TikTok and the great interviews and stuff like that. So I felt like there's a little bit of a character switch here. Scott?
Oh. Are you saying he wasn't the unifying voice of a generation that you predicted?
You know, some people were upset that the Trumper endorsed Andrew Cuomo instead of Kurt Sliwa. Some were mad that Republicans were begging Kurt to drop out so Andy could beat Zorro. How dare you endorse Andy? He neglected my granny! While I understand the frustration, this approach is extremely short-sighted. For starters, Kurt Sliwa had no chance of winning. I don't blame him for not dropping out. I don't blame him for sacrificing his campaign to fix the Democrats' incompetence. But seriously, The Democrats could have nominated an elephant's ass, and the elephant's ass would have beaten Kurt Sliwa in New York City. I understand the frustration with the Trumper and other Republicans endorsing Andy Cuomo, but like I told you guys last week, if you want to defeat the radicals, if you want to ensure that Islam does not spread, normal Democrats, moderate Democrats, even hardcore Democrats like Andrew Cuomo, they're going to have to unite with Republicans to defeat the radicals. Otherwise, the disease will continue to spread. Did you know that Islamic civil rights groups with allegedly deep ties to terrorist organizations, did you know they were one of the primary donors to Zohran Mamdani? Matter of fact, over 80% of his donations from PACs came from Muslim American donors. How was he supposed to be the great unifier when the vast majority of his funding is coming from one demographic, a demographic whose culture does not align with traditional American values? That's why I keep saying New York City is finished, and the Democrat Party that we grew up with, the party of Bill Clinton, that version of the Democratic Party, it is gone. Thankfully, and for some reason, this is not receiving a lot of coverage in the mainstream media, but thankfully, Minneapolis hasn't fully transitioned to the Islamic Republic of Minneapolis. The incumbent mayor, Jacob Frey, he easily defeated the dude who looks like an alien. Jacob Frey is a disaster, don't get me wrong, but at least he's an American disaster. It's no coincidence that Islamic candidates are rising throughout the country. Hate to tell you this, but this is not going away. The Trumpers done a phenomenal job on the southern border. We never hear about illegal immigration anymore, at least in terms of border crossings, because there are none. I know he is committed right now to deporting illegals, but I think the focus needs to change. I'm not worried about Sanchez. I'm not worried about Gomez. I'm not worried about Hector, who maybe came here illegally but goes to work every day to support his family. Does he need to apply for citizenship? Yes, but Mexican culture shares a lot of commonalities with American culture. Nearly 80% of Mexicans are Catholic. Now that the problem has been solved at the border, I hope the Trumper shifts his focus. Islam is spreading throughout the country. Now, right now, we're okay. Right now, there's only 4, maybe 5 million Muslims in a country of 340 million. But if we don't wake up, we will be dealing with the same problems that they're dealing with right now in London and all over Europe. And once you reach that point, it's tough to maintain. It's tough to go back. Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys tomorrow.